What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Weekly GCap, and this is the first Weekly GCap of 2024, so a belated Happy New Year's. I hope you guys all had an amazing New Year's, but anyway, this is Weekly GCap, the only source you'll ever need to catch up on all the gaming news from the last week. As always, despite it being the holidays, we still have quite a couple stories to go through, so let's go ahead and get right into this. First things first, Mother 2, aka Earthbound, just celebrated its 30th anniversary. This coming from 1101.com, quote, "Happy anniversary year 2024, Happy New Year 2024. Oh, also, before we keep going, I should mention that this was originally posted up in Japanese and was translated over to English, so there might be a few inconsistencies with the nuances and just, overall sentences and such, but anyway, let's keep going here. 2024 marks exactly 30 years since the release of, quote, Mother 2, Geeg Strikes Back, or however you're supposed to say that. To commemorate the 30th anniversary of Mother 2, which remains in the hearts of many people in the Mother series, we are planning a lot of fun in 2024. For example, anniversary goods, events that have never been done before, collaborations with other events, and measuring sticks." What? A measuring stick? Anyway, I'm planning a lot of things. We are looking forward to everything from things that are almost completed to things that are finally ready and things that we don't know yet. Let's enjoy this memorable year of 2024 to the fullest. Now a wonderful year begins. End quote. So, that's always exciting. Earthbound is one of the most influential, revolutionary, and just iconic RPGs, I would say, of all time. Especially considering because it's such a different RPG, You typically, when you think of RPGs, you think of, like, fantasy or wizards or knights or whatever, but this one was just, just about some kids, going on a crazy adventure. If you've never played it before, I highly, highly recommend this game. I mean, I feel like that goes without saying, but Earthbound, it's an absolutely amazing game. Whether you play it on Nintendo Switch Online, whether you play it on official hardware, whether you emulate it, whatever you have to do, I cannot recommend Earthbound enough, and yeah, happy 30th birthday, Earthbound, or Mother 2. Next up, Granblue Fantasy Relink has gone gold. I've been waiting for this one for a while, but anyway, this coming from Genki on X, quote, "Granblue Fantasy Relink has finally gone gold, according to director Yasuyaki Kaji. Quote, "Thanks to your support, we were finally able to complete Granblue Fantasy Relink, which we have been developing for a long time," end quote. It's worth noting that GBF Relink was first revealed in 2016. So, yeah, it's been a while, but man, I love the Granblue series. It's one of those series where it's like, if you don't know what to play, or if you just want something to dive in, have a lot of fun for just a couple of minutes, or if it's something you want to sit down and play for a couple of hours, it's, good for either scenario. These games have excellent fighting mechanics, a beautiful art style, and yeah, I'm super excited for Fantasy Relink. Next up, PlayStation announced or kind of like compiled the games that they have releasing in 2024, or, these aren't necessarily like first party games, but games that are just, releasing on the platform. Anyway, we'll just kind of go ahead and just kind of go through this. There is also some accessories in here. So Tekken 8, which will be coming out January 26th. And then the Deep Earth Collection, the Sterling Silver color in particular, coming out January 26th. This is just like a line of like colors for like the PS5 and controllers and accessories and such. So that's pretty cool there. And again, it's the Sterling Silver color. So if that interests you, might be worth looking into. And then we have Helldivers 2 coming out February 8th. The Pulse Elite Wireless headset coming out February 21st. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth coming out February 29th. Foam Stars, just labeled for 2024, no specific date. Rise of the Ronin, March 22nd. Stellar Blade, once again, just kind of marked for 2024, no specific date. And then Destiny 2, the Final Shape expansion, coming June 4th. So, we don't know anything about the second half of the year, and even still, there's obviously going to be a lot of things that they have yet to announce, but, just for the first half of the year, these are some of the things that they decided to highlight, so I figured I'd pass it along to you guys. Next up, the Star Wars Outlaws release date was quietly announced. It was interesting, because there wasn't any official statements, it just kind of, like, slipped through here, so let's go ahead and go over this. This coming from IGN, quote, "Star Wars Outlaws, the highly anticipated open world game from Ubisoft, will be released in late 2024. Though Ubisoft and Star Wars owner Disney had previously remained tight-lipped about the release date, a Disney Parks blog post quietly announced the release window, which was previously only confirmed to be sometime in 2024. Quote, "Star Wars Outlaws, the open world Star Wars game, is set to release late this year," the post said. "This game lets you explore distinct planets across the galaxy, both iconic and new. You can risk it all as Kay Vess, an emerging scoundrel seeking freedom and his means to start a new life along with her companion Nyx. If you're willing to take the risk, the galaxy is full of opportunity," end quote. So there we have it. Again, no official dates, but later this year, we'll hopefully, as long as it doesn't get delayed, we'll be able to play Star Wars Outlaws, and yeah, I'm really excited for this one. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, if that wasn't obvious enough from all the gushing that I've done over the various episodes whenever we talk about Star Wars, but yeah, super excited for this one. Next up, this doesn't necessarily pertain to video games, but it might soon. This will make sense in a second. So, Best Buy has begun removing physical media from their stores. This coming from physical media president on X, quote, Best Buy has started removing all physical media and displays today, end quote. That went up like basically around New Year's, so it was like immediate. As soon as 2024 rolled around, Best Buy was already ready to get the stuff off the shelves. We had actually talked about this a couple of months ago, I believe. We had talked about how, Best Buy is planning to remove like physical movies and such like that, and there was a lot of backlash because we thought that they were also talking about physical games. Thankfully, they are not just yet. And, but yeah, this just kind of worries me because if they're already starting to ditch physical movies, I don't know. I know movies are farther along, and most times nowadays, a lot of people do kind of just rely on streaming services or rental services or whatever, to watch their movies that way rather than going out and buying like Blu-rays or DVDs or what have you. But this is just a scary precedent, as we have seen the gradual push. Well, I can't even say gradual push. It's been quite a forceful push, I would say, in recent years, trying to get people over to that all-digital future with cloud streaming and just buying games digitally off of these proprietary storefronts to a point of where, like the latest PS5, or the only PS5 that is available to buy now, doesn't even come with a disc drive, which is insane. Sure, you can still buy one separately, but you still have to buy one separately unless you buy a certain edition of the PS5 that comes with it. It's just, yeah, I don't know. It's a very scary future for me personally. You guys know me. I'm all about physical media preservation. I know some people, when they think preservation, they're like, oh no, the only way that you need to preserve things is digitally, because once it's in the Internet Archives, that's all that matters. We have the files, that's all you need. But really, no, it goes beyond that. It's about, like, preserving the physical, like, there's still reason to preserve the physical copies, you know what I mean? Like, between the case and, just everything in there. And what happens if one day, say, like, I don't know, so one of these servers crash, or the files get corrupted that are, just being stored on these servers? Because you guys gotta remember, sure, it's on the internet, but, like, even that isn't a guarantee. What happens if a server crashes, if a hard drive fails? You know what I mean? Then how are you going to back it up, right? The only way that you're going to be able to back it up is if you have a physical copy to do the backup in the first place. And furthermore, some people like actually owning their products, because we've seen it time and time again, like with the whole Discovery and Sony controversy, where every Discovery show or movie that anybody's ever purchased on PlayStation, they extended it for another 30 months, but still, when the 30 months runs up, we're going to lose all of our content there. Ubisoft tried to do this, where they tried to take the Assassin's Creed games away from people. There was, I think it was Assassin's Creed Chronicles, or one of the, I forget which one it was specifically, but it was on Steam. They were trying to, like, literally take the games away from people, and we know that this is a thing. If you read through the terms and conditions, you only have a license to your product when you buy something digitally, whereas when you buy it physically, you actually own said product. I'll stop myself there, as we still do have quite a lot to go through, but, yeah, I don't know. This is just a subject that I'm very passionate about, one that frustrates me quite a bit, and, it's just unfortunate that things are going in this direction, but it's something that we've been expecting and have been foreseeing for quite some time. It's just, it sucks that that time is finally here. Next up, this is another one that doesn't necessarily at face value pertain to gaming news, but you'll see why it does. So Mickey Mouse, specifically the Steamboat Willie iteration, has entered the public domain as of January 1st, 2024. It's worth noting, this only pertains, again, to the Steamboat Willie, like Mickey Mouse variation. This doesn't apply to actually, like, Mickey Mouse himself, just that variation of it. And, well, it seems like some developers have been awaiting this moment for quite some time. As you can see on the screen, this is a trailer for an upcoming horror game called Infestation Origins. There's no official release dates or information that I know of, but you can wishlist it now on Steam, and, yeah, it's literally a horror game, about the Steamboat Willie variation of Mickey Mouse, and, yeah, I'm going to be playing this one as soon as it comes out, I'm not going to lie. Next up, I'm sure you guys know all about the Day Before controversy. We've even talked about it on the show, so we're not going to go over that. We're just going to go over the main thing that, we want to focus on today, which is the fact that an offline mod is in development. So this coming from PC Focus on X, quote, exclusive. The Day Before offline crack is in the works. It's early yet. The user at RealLucy0 plans to reroute the server connection to a local connection, which would return true and would, in theory, let you in the game. At which point Lucy0 replied, quote, no promises or ETAs as of now, it's very early, and me plus FS Cart D are doing our best. More info will come to this page once it's available, end quote. So, we don't know anything else yet, but, it seems like the Day Before might not actually be, gone forever, like we thought it would be, which, for preservation's sake, that's great, but for, just everybody's eyes and sanity, I don't know how to feel about it. This game, it wasn't very good. Next up, we got some information concerning Hideo Kojima's plans for 2024. This coming from Hideo Kojima on X. Quote, "This year will be another year of simultaneous production of DS2 and OD. DS2, that being Death Stranding 2, by the way, still has some ADR left, and we will start recording Japanese voiceovers. I want to concentrate on creating games, so I would like to limit my business trips, but I can't do nothing because I have to shoot for OD, collaborate with Avengers, make Death Stranding into a movie, and work on other video projects. In addition to production, I am also planning to add another writing series, not only for Anan, but also for our other projects. We are also planning to run a special program on HideTube, which we have been neglecting as a trial. We may also revive Hide Radio in the future. So it is going to be a tough year, but I hope to enjoy this year of the Dragon. Thank you again for your support this year." End quote. So, exciting stuff there. I'm sorry, man, between Death Stranding 2 and the Death Stranding movie, I'm really excited to see what comes of that. And OD, I don't even know how to feel about OD because I barely even understand what it is. I don't think anybody understands what it is, but I mean, it's Hideo Kojima, so we know it's going to be amazing. If not a bit confusing, but still amazing. Next up, we got a bit of a concerning update concerning Square Enix and their plans to implement AI into video game development. This coming from Video Games Chronicle, which they were quoting a Square Enix exec. Quote, we also intend to be aggressive in applying AI and other cutting-edge technologies to both our content development and our publishing functions," the exec wrote. "In the short term, our goal will be to enhance our development productivity and achieve greater sophistication in our marketing efforts. In the longer term, we hope to leverage those technologies to create new forms of content for consumers, as we believe that technological innovation represents business opportunities. I believe that generative AI has the potential not only to reshape what we create, but also to fundamentally change the process by which we create, including programming." End quote. The president did not share any specifics about how it would use AI for game development, but Final Fantasy VII Remake's co-director has previously discussed how it built an AI tool for character facial animation and lip syncing. Square Enix's previous president, Yosuke Matsuda, used last year's letter to express the company's commitment to blockchain technology. In the latest letter, Kiryu said the company would continue to support these efforts. End quote. Wow, this is one heck of a way to start 2024, am I right? This is another situation where I've said it once, I've said it twice, and I've said it a million times at this point. AI doesn't belong in video game development. When it comes to very specific tasks, maybe. But when it comes to things like this, where you already know they're going to try to push it as far as they can to the point of where, you know, we're going to get to a point of where, like, AI teams are just, like, developing full games. Like, no humans, just, like, full AI. You know these publishers will do anything to increase their profits and, you know, cut back on the expenses that they have to spend, even if it means cutting jobs and just, you know, relying on AI to create more games. Which is why I'm very against it. Because, sure, it doesn't seem like a big deal now, but it's only going to get worse and worse. And furthermore, video games are an art form. This may be a hot take. I don't care if it's a hot take because it's just the objective truth. AI is not capable of creating real art. What makes art what it is the human emotion, the human element, the human error, the human mistake, and also the human beauty. Again, there's a lot of things that make art, but it is 100% human and cannot be, it can be replicated, but not, you know, in the truest extent or in the most, you know, real extent. I don't care if something feels or looks like it was made by a human. It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't need, there's no need for any art form to be created by AI to a point of where it's replacing humans to, like, create that art. Because again, it's being made by AI, machines. That's not real art. It's that simple. So, Square Enix, it's one of those things where I love Square Enix's games. I love the games that they publish and develop and all that. Like, I absolutely love Square Enix games. But as a company, I'm starting to hate Square Enix more and more. And, yeah, this is just another, what do you want to call it? Another cherry on top of the cake, whatever the saying is. Yeah, this is God, let's just move on. I'm actually getting a little worked up here. Next up, the AI Neo Flip will begin crowdfunding later this month. This coming from lilyputing.com. Quote, "The AI Neo Flip is a handheld gaming PC with a 7-inch 1920x 1080 pixel IPS LCD display featuring a 120Hz refresh rate, an AMD Ryzen 7 7840U processor with a Radeon 780M integrated graphics, and a clamshell design that lets you flip the screen up like a laptop and lock it in place at 120, 150, or 180 degree angles. As expected, it will be available in two versions. The AO Neo Flip KB has a QWERTY keyboard in the base designed to make text input simple, while the AO Neo Flip DS has a 3.5-inch touchscreen display that you can use as a second screen. Both models will go up for pre-order through an Indiegogo crowdfunding campaign at the end of January 2024. End quote. So, But by the name of the second model alone, the AO Neo Flip DS, it's pretty obvious what this is meant to be. It's kind of like a DS, you know what I mean? You know, 2 screens, everything like that. So this will obviously be a great device for emulating, I'm sure, 3DS as well as original DS games. And yeah, this is just something where I wanted to bring it to your guys' attention just in case anybody had any interest in, you know, supporting the crowdfunding thing or getting their hands on one of their own devices. Because, I don't know, I usually don't go towards these kind of devices. I'm a little on the fence about this one, but there's a part of me that kind of wants to pick one up, or I'm kind of just considering it, because it does kind of sound like a cool concept, I'm not gonna lie. As much as I will always prefer playing games on original hardware, like, even if this thing would absolutely knock my socks off and look beautiful, I would always go back to my original DS to play original DS games, and I'll always go back to my 2DS or 3DS to play 3DS games. But you know, emulation, it's become pretty powerful, so it would be pretty cool to just fire this thing up and see what some of our favorite DS or 3DS games look like in, like, full 1080p and everything like that, you know what I mean? So, yeah, just something I wanted to put on your guys' radar. Next up, Guardians of the Galaxy is currently free on the Epic Games Store for the next week, so if you haven't played this game before, I'm telling you right now, even if you don't have an Epic Games account, go make the account, go claim this game, and go play it. It is an absolutely underrated hidden gem, and I truly do believe that it is a masterpiece. Please go claim it, and please go play it. Next up, we got the first wave of January Xbox Game Pass games for you guys. Those being Close to the Sun, Hell Let Loose. Both of those games are available now, by the way. Assassin's Creed Valhalla coming January 9th. Figment coming January 9th. Super Mega Baseball 4 coming January 11th. We Happy Few coming January 11th. Resident Evil 2 coming January 16th, and Those Who Remain also coming January 16th. Pretty solid lineup overall, and if you have not played Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Resident Evil 2, We Happy Few, Figment, you know, I was going to list some of the ones that I recommend, but then I just realized that I was about to list off literally like everything on the list. So yeah, all around, if you haven't tried any of these games, I highly recommend literally any of them. And finally, we just got a cool little story to kind of wrap up the show today. Tetris has been beaten after 34 years. This is coming from BBC. Quote, an Oklahoma teenager is believed to have become the first human player to beat Nintendo's classic video game Tetris 34 years after its release. Willis Gibson posted a video on his YouTube channel of the moment he reached level 157, causing the game to crash. The 13-year-old fell back into his chair, declaring, I'm going to pass out, I can't feel my fingers. It only took him 38 minutes to beat the game. Remarkably, until a few years ago, players believed it was only possible to play up to level 29. That is insane. They thought it was only possible to reach level 29, yet this kid hit level 157. Man, what am I doing with my life? I'm in my 20s and I've never even done anything like that. Gosh. Anyway, this is just... Man, this is... I mean, you're seeing the video on your screen. This kid is absolutely talented, and just, you know, much love to this kid. You know, you're skilled. I don't even know, man. You're gonna do great things with your life. If you're crushing world records in Tetris at this point, I mean, like, dude, who even knows? The sky's the limit for you, kid. Congratulations. This is just... It was one of those heartwarming things. I had to bring it to your guys' attention. I absolutely love reading stuff like this. It's these moments that reminds me that there is still faith and hope for humanity. Anyways, that's all the stories that I have for you guys this week. So now I'd definitely love to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts on everything that we talked about? Whether it's Square Enix and AI, this 13-year-old kid beating Tetris after 34 years, or just... literally anything else we talked about. Whatever it is, whatever everything, I'd definitely love to hear from you guys. But anyway, this is Weekly GCap. No episodes go live every single Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern, so if you want to catch them as soon as they go live, well, then I don't want to be here. But anyway, that's going to do it for me, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Have an amazing day and an amazing weekend. Stay beautiful. I love you all. Peace.